In the silence of dawn, when the air still holds the weight of night, one realizes that life is not measured by the ticking of clocks, but by the harmony of spirit. To appear young when the years have already passed over you is not a trick of cosmetics or the deceit of shadows. It is a reflection of something deeper, more enduring, and invisible to the hurried glance of others. It is the whisper of the soul to the body, and the body answering with resilience. The Stoics, who never adorned their speech with illusions, taught us that the universe itself is change, and life is only opinion, as Marcus Aurelius wrote. And so, youth that lingers on the face of one who has walked many roads is not mere chance. It is the visible result of inner causes, subtle and hidden, that shape our being. Let us turn to these causes not as a scholar who dissects, but as a traveler who contemplates the quiet symbols of the path. There are 9 of them, 9 hidden reasons why your appearance resists time's erosion. They are not tricks nor secret formulas. They are attitudes of soul, habits of thought, and ways of breathing with the world. And as we walk through each, let us do so with the calm of a philosopher and the openness of a student of life. 1. The calm that dwells within a river that runs too violently tears its own banks. But a calm river, steady and measured, nourishes the land around it and carries ships without resistance. So too with the soul. Inner peace leaves marks not only upon thought, but upon the body itself. Wrinkles may soften, eyes shine clearer, breath becomes deeper. Seneca once reminded us that a mind at peace gives health to the body. The body is obedient to the master, who governs it with calm. Anger, anxiety, and the endless chase after trifles gnaw away at the skin, the eyes, the hair, until the years show heavier than they are. But serenity acts like invisible oil, softening the edges of age. When you cultivate stillness, when you allow silence to dwell within you as naturally as breathing, you gift your body a chance to rest, even while you move. This rest is not laziness. It is the balanced strength of one who accepts the order of the world and does not wrestle against what cannot be altered. Such a person appears younger, for youth itself is nothing but the freedom of movement without heaviness. Serenity lightens the step. 2. Acceptance of time and its flow. Nothing ages a face more than the struggle against time itself. To resist the seasons is to harden like stone, brittle and ready to crack. Yet he who accepts time, who greets each year as one greets a guest, carries an ease upon the brow. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will flow serenely." This acceptance smooths the features more than ointments can. Look upon an elder who clings desperately to the ghost of youth. The effort carves tension into the skin. The eyes reveal the unease. But look upon the elder who embraces gray hairs as the crown of wisdom, who wears lines as a map of lived days. That face, though marked, appears strangely fresh, as if youth itself had returned in another form. Acceptance is not surrender, it is transformation. By yielding, we are renewed. 3. The moderation that shapes life. Wine in excess poisons, food in gluttony burdens, pleasures pursued without measure corrode. The Stoics praised moderation, not as denial, but as harmony. "Nothing in excess," wrote the sages of old. "A life lived with balance preserves the body as well as the spirit." The man who eats with gratitude, who drinks with measure, who rests without idleness, and works without slavery. His body carries a quiet strength, and his appearance resists decay. Moderation is the invisible craftsman shaping youth in the features of one who practices it. For the body, is like an instrument. Play it with reckless force, and it breaks. Play it gently, but with steadiness, and it produces clear music for long years. To appear young is not to deny indulgence forever, but to know the weight of each choice, and to walk the middle path with discipline. Such balance leaves a mark more striking than jewels, the mark of timelessness. 4. The discipline of thought. The face is a mirror, and thought is the painter. One who nurses bitterness sculpts shadows into his brow. One who allows envy to rule carves sharpness into his eyes. But the one who practices noble thought, who directs his mind to what is within his power, paints lightness upon his countenance. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Thus, youth is not merely a gift of blood and bone, but of thought itself. When you train your mind to focus on what is essential, when you turn away from idle chatter and needless worry, you lift from your face a burden invisible to the careless observer. It is no wonder that philosophers, even in their old age, often appeared less withered than men of indulgence. Their youth did not come from chance, but from the quiet work of the mind, brushing away the dust of needless fears. 5. Movement in harmony with nature. The body is not a prison, as some have feared, but a companion. Treat it with neglect, and it betrays you. Treat it with vanity, and it becomes heavy. But treat it with respect. Give it movement, walks under the sun, the bending of limbs, the rhythm of breath, and it answers with vitality. Youth is preserved in motion, not frantic, but harmonious. As the Stoics walked among porticos and gardens, so too must we walk. The still body stiffens, the moving body sings. The one who moves in tune with nature does not need to force youth. It comes uninvited, like the glow of health after a good night's rest. No excess, no torment of the flesh, but care and rhythm. Thus, when you see someone whose years exceed what their face reveals, remember that behind it lies not magic, but the daily ritual of respectful movement, neither neglected nor exaggerated. To appear young is to dance, even in silence. 6. Order and simplicity in daily life. The world often mirrors the mind. Disorder, clutter, and chaos in one's surroundings seep into the body, pressing into the posture, twisting the gait, and shading the expression. Conversely, the elder who organizes both thought and environment projects an ease and clarity that transcends age. As Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have too little time, but that we squander much of it." The same principle applies to life itself. A life ordered, tidy, and purposeful reflects a youthfulness untouched by hurried folly. One who keeps their homes simple, their rituals deliberate, their possessions measured, cultivates a rhythm that flows into the body. The mind feels lighter, the face relaxes, the posture straightens. Order is not rigidity, but the grace of alignment with the world. When you witness someone whose years are many, but whose energy seems unbounded, observe the clarity of their spaces, the absence of noise and clutter in both room and mind. 7. Joy found in the ordinary. True youth thrives in the capacity to rejoice in the smallest gifts of life. A blade of grass glistening with morning dew, the hum of bees across the garden, the laughter of a neighbor or child. Pleasure sought only in extremes leaves a trace of exhaustion upon the skin. But those who cultivate an attentive joy, who notice and cherish simple beauties, carry in their expression a vitality that defies calendars. Imagine an elder sitting beneath a tree, watching sunlight filter through leaves in dappled patterns. Each small event, a bird landing, a breeze stirring branches, is attended to, absorbed fully, and smiled upon. The body, in harmony with this gentle attentiveness, retains a fluidity and lightness. The face brightens naturally, eyes reflect wonder, and even the hand that rests on a cane seems capable of playful motion. The essence of youth is not in avoiding age, but in living fully in each passing moment. 8. Wisdom and mastery of self. Mastery over oneself is the crown that outshines all adornments. The Stoics regarded the cultivated mind as the refuge of eternal vitality. A sage who understands that passions must be tempered and that only reason governs well carries a calm resilience that manifests physically. When Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself," he described not only moral freedom, but the subtle influence upon vitality and appearance. This mastery is seen in the measured movement of limbs, in the gentle calm of gestures, and in the eyes' steadfast clarity. It is the reason why some elders seem to possess a lightness of being. They do not tire of themselves. They do not crumble under trivial trials, and the body answers the mind's steadiness with subtle grace. Mastery over self is the invisible hand that preserves youth, a resilience of spirit made tangible in appearance. 9. Love, compassion, and connection. Finally, the heart's openness leaves traces more lasting than creams or exercise. Love, not in the fleeting infatuations of youth, but in deliberate, attentive compassion, nourishes the body as surely as the soul. One who gives and receives kindness, who treats others with gentleness, shows a radiance that cannot be faked. The lines upon the face soften when they are born of laughter, patience, and care rather than frustration or resentment. Consider the elder who walks through the village, acknowledging each person with warmth, offering small acts of support. Their presence draws others and reflects back a serenity that strengthens the body. Eyes that have known the suffering of others, yet remain tender, shine with a reflective youthfulness. Hands that have labored in service remain steady, gestures graceful. Love and compassion are the silent alchemy that renders age both meaningful and light upon the surface. Interweaving the 9 reasons. Notice that these 9 causes, calmness, acceptance, moderation, disciplined thought, movement, order, simple joy, self-mastery, and love, are not isolated. They form a tapestry, each strand supporting and enhancing the others. Calmness without joy is hollow. Love without self-mastery is easily overwhelmed. Moderation without acceptance becomes rigidity. The human spirit, in weaving these principles into daily life, orchestrates a symphony that manifests physically as resilience, clarity, and an unforced grace. Every wrinkle, every silver hair, every slight tremor is imbued with meaning. Yet when these 9 hidden practices are exercised, they do not dominate the appearance with burden, but with elegance. The eyes sparkle, the skin retains its pliancy, and the posture maintains natural dignity. Youth in this light is revealed not by denial of age, but by the flourishing of inner life. It is the visible trace of harmony, lived authentically. The philosophy of visible youth Stoicism, at its heart, teaches that virtue and reason govern both inner and outer life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The outward appearance is a reflection of the inner state, for the mind paints the body as it wills." To apply this in daily existence is to cultivate each of the 9 reasons consciously, to greet the day with calm, to accept what passes, to measure every desire, to train thought, to move with attention, to maintain order, to rejoice in simplicity, to master oneself, and to love. The face and body inevitably follow, revealing the life within more faithfully than any mirror can. This is why some elders appear younger than they are. not because of genetics or luck or superficial treatments, but because their souls are disciplined, attentive, and in harmony with the flow of life. Their energy moves outward. Their presence lights spaces. Their vitality encourages the eyes to linger. One perceives not the number of years, but the quality of living. Practical applications. 1. Morning contemplation. Begin the day with reflection on virtue and what is within your power. Let this shape the tone of your day, easing tension in body and mind. 2. Moderate lifestyle. Avoid extremes of consumption and indulgence. The body and spirit are sustained by balance, not by excess. 3. Mindful movement. Daily walks, stretches, or gentle exercises keep the body alert and harmonized with mental clarity. 4. Gratitude for small joys. Attend fully to the simple pleasures, the wind, the sunlight, a quiet smile, and allow your body to mirror this attentiveness. 5. Acts of compassion. Service to others, offered without expectation, cultivates radiance that endures. 6. Evening reflection. Review your day. Release regrets, tensions, and negativity, allowing rest to refresh both mind and body. These practices intertwine, creating a life whose vitality is visible. They produce a youth that is unmistakably real. Though it is not measured by calendar years, it is measured in presence, calm, and harmonious energy. Conclusion. The eternal impression of the mind. In a world obsessed with superficial markers of youth, it is tempting to chase outward appearances through temporary means. Yet, Stoicism reminds us that the true source of youthful presence is inward. Each of the 9 hidden reasons — calmness, acceptance, moderation, thought discipline, mindful movement, order, joy, self-mastery, and love — creates a ripple in the body that time cannot erode. The individual who embodies these principles carries youth as naturally as a tree carries leaves in spring, effortlessly, organically, and beautifully. Observe those who appear younger than their years. Their secret is not in potions or technologies. It is in the mind cultivated, the heart exercised, the body respected, and the spirit harmonized. Time touches all, yet it leaves lighter footprints when the inner life is strong. True youth, therefore, is not defiance of age, but alignment with life, producing an outward radiance that speaks louder than any number. Even in the deepest wrinkles, there lies vitality. Even in silver strands, there flows energy. The Stoics would smile at the knowledge that the laws of the mind and soul render the body a faithful reflection, that a life well lived, practiced with virtue and awareness, is the secret not merely to longevity, but to timeless visible youth.